So now we're going to address the third and what I feel is the most important reason to go vegan, morality. Let me make a really quick disclaimer. This video is not about making you feel like an asshole. I'm going to stick to some of the core logical fallacies in our collective thinking. If we can't stand to talk about where our animals come from, why can we stand to eat them? The question of the morality of eating animals is not new. Nonviolence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages. Thomas Edison. Think occasionally of the suffering of which you spare yourself the sight. Schweitzer. You have just dined, and however scrupulously the slaughterhouse is concealed in the graceful distance of miles, there is complicity. Raplh Waldo Emerson. William Ralph Inge, in his outspoken essays of 1922, said, "We have enslaved the rest of animal creation, and have treated our distant cousins in fur and feathers so badly that beyond doubt, if they were able to formulate a religion, they would depict the devil in human form." Peter Singer argued that if a being suffers, there can be no moral justification for refusing to take that suffering into consideration, and indeed to count it equally with the like suffering of any other being. In most modern human societies, we live by the law that my rights and my choices end where your nose begins. Yet we've collectively failed to logically extend this to other non-human animals. Gary Yourofsky says, "It is not your right, based on your traditions, your customs, and your habits, to deny animals their freedom so you can harm them, enslave them, and kill them. That's not what rights are about. That's injustice." I mean, think about all of the things in human history that have just been excused because it's the way things are. In her book, Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Wear Cows, Dr. Melanie Joy states, "We send one species to the butcher and give our love and kindness to another, apparently for no reason other than that's because of the way things are. Many of us spend long minutes in the aisle of the drugstore mulling it over what toothpaste to buy. Yet, most of us don't spend any time at all thinking about what species of animal we eat and why. If we choose to support this industry and the best reason we can come up with is because it's the way things are, clearly something is amiss." But aren't animals here solely for our use? With this issue, I like to turn to Alice Walker. She says, "The animals of the world exist for their own reasons. They were not made for humans, any more than black people were made for white, or women created for men." People get very up in arms about the killing of dolphins and the eating of dogs in other countries. If you're comparing a pig to a dog, pigs are actually far more intelligent than any dog breed, and have even outperformed 3-year-old human children. So why is our outrage over people eating canines when we continue to eat bovines and porcines? One of our greatest systematic logical fallacies is stated by Ruth Harrison. She says, "In fact, if one person is unkind to an animal, it is considered to be cruelty. But where a lot of people are unkind to animals, especially in the name of commerce, the cruelty is condoned, and, once large sums of money are at stake, will be defended to the last by otherwise intelligent people." It seems that every month there's a new scientific study on animal intelligence, and everyone's always surprised by the results, finding out that, hey, animals do think and feel just like us. Peter Singer states that all arguments to prove man's superiority cannot shatter this hard fact. In suffering, the animals are our equals, regardless of your race, your sex, your gender, or your species. Pain is pain. Thanks for sticking with me on this one. I know that it was a little rough, and not quite as fun as the previous two. So, in order to have a nice little letdown, here is Ubi being absolutely adorable.